Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to online CET classes. In this video, I am going to explain your first PUC topic, thermodynamics. Now, I am going to explain the brief synopsis on the topic thermodynamics. In this thermodynamics topic, zeroth law of thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, and second law of thermodynamics, heat engine, refrigerator are the important concept. The first topic is the first law of thermodynamics. According to the first law of thermodynamics, the total amount of heat supplied to the system is equal to increase in internal energy and work done by the system, that is dq is equal to du plus dw. Here the work done by the that system dw is equal to p into dv, pressure into small change in the volume. Heat supplies is equal to change in internal energy plus work done. This is the formula for first law of thermodynamics. And work done by gas, that is W is equal to P into dV, pressure into small change in the volume dV, and change in internal energy, that is delta U is equal to CV into dt. CV means specific heat capacity at a constant volume. And the next concept is in an isothermal process. Isothermal process means it is the process in which temperature is kept constant. There is no change in the temperature. Suppose if I consider one thermodynamic system, the thermodynamic system means it is a collection of large number of atoms or molecules within the certain boundaries. It has certain pressure, volume, temperature. And pressure, volume and temperature are the three important parameters of the thermodynamic system. In case of isothermal process, the temperature is kept constant. If the temperature is kept constant, there is no change in the internal energy. That's why delta U is equal to 0. In an isochoric process, no work is done. In an isochoric process, no work is done. If no work is done, then there is no change in the volume. dV is equal to 0. When a gas expands, the work done is positive. When it is compressed, work done is negative. When a gas expands, work done is positive. When it is compressed, work done is negative. Student, remember this point. This is very important concept while during the solving the numerical problems on this topic. When gas expands, work done is positive. When it is compressed, work done is negative. And the next concept is work done is calculated in this topic. Work done is calculated from using area under the PV curve. When a cyclic process is represented by the clockwise on PV diagram, work done by the system is positive and vice versa. During the isothermal process, adiabatic process, isothermal can be divided into two types: isothermal expansion and isothermal compression. Adiabatic process also can be divided into two types: adiabatic expansion and adiabatic compression. The next concept is second law of thermodynamics. It states that it is impossible to derive work from a heat engine by cooling a system below its surrounding. Anything outside the system is called surrounding, and heat flows from always higher temperature to a lower temperature. It is impossible to derive work from a heat engine by cooling a system below its surroundings, or it is impossible to convert high temperature to low temperature without any external agency. This is also known as second law of thermodynamics. And heat, it is always flows from higher temperature to a lower temperature. Heat, it is the form of energy. And the work done in an isothermal process, already we have studied the expression for work done in an isothermal process using the cylinder with 1 mole of an ideal gas. That 1 mole of an ideal gas is fitted in a cylinder. From using that derivation, finally we arrive the equation, that is work done in an isothermal process, W is equal to 2.303 RT log base 10 V2 divided by V1. Here this is the work done in an isothermal process. R is the gas constant, T is the temperature, V2 divided by V1. These are the volume is changes from initial to final, which is the expression for work done in an isothermal process. And the next concept is work done in an adiabatic process. In case of isothermal process, the temperature is kept constant, but in case of adiabatic process, there is no exchange of heat between system and its surroundings. This derivation is also you have studied in your first QC classes. The final equation is W is equal to R into T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. Here R is the gas constant, T1 and T2 are the different temperature, gamma is the ratio of specific heat capacities at constant pressure to the constant volume. These are also two important formulas. Remember these two formulas. And the next concept is the efficiency of reversible heat engine. Efficiency of reversible heat engine, that is eta is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by T1 or 1 minus T2 divided by T1. Here in case of heat engine, source and sink are the main important parts. Source means it is the body maintained at higher temperature, sink means body maintained at lower temperature. In between source and sink, the working substance is placed. Here the working substance is absorb the heat from the source and converted into energy or converted into any other work done, and some amount of energy is ejected to the sink. This process is continuous to get a continuous supply of heat energy, and the efficiency of a reversible heat engine is calculated by using this formula. Eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. Here T2 means higher temperature, T1 means higher temperature, T2 means lower temperature in case of heat engine only. At T2 is equal to 0 Kelvin. At T2 is equal to 0 Kelvin. T2 means lower temperature. Lower temperature is 0 Kelvin. Then the efficiency of that engine is 100%. Then there are certain applications are there for first law of thermodynamics. Here in case of adiabatic process, according to the first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus p into dv. The total amount of heat supplied to the system is equal to increase in internal energy and work done by the system. In that process, heat energy is neither be released nor be absorbed, but there is no supply of heat or there is no transfer of heat between system and surroundings. Therefore dq is equal to 0. Then you get du plus dv or p into dv is equal to 0. These are the applications of first law of thermodynamics. Then du is equal to minus p into dv or p into dv is equal to minus du. Work is done at the expense of internal energy. Work is done. Here p into dv, this is work done. Work is done at the expense of internal energy. And in case of isothermal process, the temperature is kept constant, but according to the first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus p into dv. But du is equal to, from Mayer's equation, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Here but du is equal to Cv into dt. In an isothermal process, temperature is kept constant. There is no change in the temperature, there is no change in the internal energy. dt is equal to 0, du is equal to 0, and hence there is no change in the internal energy of a gas when temperature is constant. In case of isochoric process, the volume is kept constant, then the work done is 0. According to the first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus p into dv. In an isochoric process, volume remains constant. If the volume remains constant, there is no change in the work done. Therefore dq equal to du, dv is equal to 0. All the heat supplied to the gas is utilized in increasing the internal energy of the gas. No work is done by the gas. In this condition, dq is equal to du. The total amount of heat supplied to the system is completely utilized. Now I would like to solve the problems on this topic. The first question is, a gas receives an amount of heat equal to 110 joules and perform 40 joules of work. The change in internal energy of the gas. From using first law of thermodynamics, we know the formula. The total amount of heat supplied to the system, that is dq is equal to du. dq is equal to du plus dw. The total amount of heat supplied to the system is equal to the increase in internal energy and work done by the system. But here in this problem, a gas receives an amount of heat equal to 110 joule. It is equal to, and perform 40 joules of work, du plus 40 joules of work. The change in internal energy of the gas, the change in internal energy, that is du is equal to 110 minus 40. Therefore the change in internal energy du is equal to 110 minus 40, that is 70 joules. du is equal to 70 joules. Option A is the right answer. And the next question is, a gas expands from a volume of 2 meter cube to 6 meter cube. When a gas expands from a volume of 2 meter cube to 6 meter cube at a constant pressure of, this is the pressure value, 10 Newton per meter square, and then at the constant volume of 6 meter cube, the pressure is changed from 10 Newton per meter square to 20 Newton per meter square. The work done by the gas. We know the formula. When the pressure of the gas is kept constant, when the pressure of the gas is kept constant, the work done by the gas is, that is W is equal to P into P2 minus P1, which is a formula to find the work done by the gas. Here the pressure, that is 10 Newton per meter square, minus P2 is 6 meter cube, minus P1 is 2 meter cube. Then W is equal to 10 into 6 minus 2 is 4, that is 40 joules. But when the volume of the gas is kept constant, the work done by the gas, W2 is equal to 0. This is W1. But when the volume of the gas is kept constant, the work done by the gas, W2 equal to 0. Hence in both the cases W2 is equal to 0. In this case W2 is equal to 0, and the total work done, that is W is equal to W1 plus W2. W is equal to W1 plus W2 is equal to here 40 plus 0 is equal to 40. 40 plus 0 is equal to 40. Option B is the right answer. And the third question is, this is third question. In this third question, in an adiabatic change, the pressure and temperature of a monoatomic gas are related as P is directly proportional to T to the power of C, where C is equals to, here the gas molecules can be divided into three types: monoatomic gas molecules, diatomic gas molecules, and triatomic gas molecules. But here the P is directly proportional to T. In an adiabatic change, we know that formula. In an adiabatic change, the P is directly proportional to T, gamma divided by 1 minus gamma. This is the formula for adiabatic change. But for here given P is directly proportional to T whole to the power of C, or C is equal to gamma divided by 1 minus gamma. Now for monoatomic gas molecules, gamma is equal to 5 by 3. Here this is the constant value. For monoatomic gas molecules, gamma is equal to, it is the ratio of specific heat capacities at constant pressure to the constant volume. Now substitute the values here. Pi by 3 divided by pi by 3 minus 1, we get pi divided by 2. Option B is the right answer. And the next question is, an ideal Carnot engine whose efficiency is 40%. An ideal Carnot engine efficiency is 40% receives heat at 500 K. If efficiency is 50%, then intake temperature for the same exhaust temperature is. Here, the efficiency of the Carnot engine, we know that for efficiency eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. 1 minus T2 divided by T1. In the first case, an ideal Carnot engine whose efficiency is 40% receives a heat at 500 Kelvin. Here, in the first case, efficiency is 40%, that means 0.4. 0.4 is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. T1 means that is 500. From using this formula we get T2 divided by 500 is equal to 1 minus 0.4. Therefore, T2 is equal to 500 into 0.6. 1 minus 0.4 is equal to 0.6. Then T2 is equal to 300 Kelvin. But in the second case, if its efficiency is 5%, 50% means that is 0.5, then intake temperature for the same exhaust temperature is 0.5. Then 1 minus, here in the second case, 1 minus, here the T1 is, or 1 minus T2, we get the answer T2 is equal to 300. We know this form, 1 minus 300 divided by T1 dash. Therefore, 300 divided by T1 dash is equal to 300 divided by 0.5. Then T1 dash is equal to 300 divided by 0.5, that is 150, or finally you get the answer T1 dash is equal to 600 Kelvin. 600 Kelvin. Option A is the right answer. And the next problem is an ideal gas. An ideal gas undergoing adiabatic change has which of the following pressure temperature relationship? For an ideal gas undergoing adiabatic change, for adiabatic change we know the formula PV gamma is equal to constant. For the adiabatic change we know the form PV gamma is equal to constant, but by using ideal gas equation we know the formula PV is equal to nRT, or 1 mole of adiabatic gas we get, or 1 mole of ideal gas PV is equal to RT. Then following pressure and temperature relationship we get the volume V is equal to RT divided by P. Here the P is equal to RT divided by P gamma is equal to constant, or P to the power of 1 minus gamma, or T to the power of gamma is equal to constant. It is the standard formula. It is the standard formula. Here we get the answer P to the power of 1 minus gamma, T to the power of gamma is equal to constant. Option D is the right answer. And the next problem is a diatomic gas. A diatomic gas has initially at 18 degrees Celsius is compressed adiabatically to 1/8 of its original volume. The temperature after compression will be, again for adiabatic compression. For adiabatic compression we know the formula T1 V1 gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 gamma minus 1. T2 V2 gamma minus 1. But here in this formula T1 is equal to 18 degrees Celsius. Convert it into Kelvin, we get 18 plus 273, that is 291 Kelvin. And the temperature after the compression, that is T2, V1 is equal to V gamma, and V2 is equal to diatomic gas has initially 1 by compressed adiabatically to 1/8 of its original volume, that is 1/8 of its original volume. Now substitute the values here. Substitute the values in this equation. Here T2 is equal to, that is T1 or T2 is equal to 291. Substitute the values here. 291 into phi comma minus 1 is equal to T2 phi2 means that is 1 by 8th or phi divided by 8 to the power of gamma minus 1. Therefore T2 is equal to 291. T2 is equal to 291 into 1 by 8 whole to the power of gamma for diatomic gas molecule, that is 1.4 minus 1. Therefore T2 is equal to 291 into 1 by 8, 291 into 1 by 8 whole to the power of 0.4, whole to the power of 0.4. Therefore we get T2 is equal to 291. T2 is equal to 291 into 2.29. When you are multiplying, you get the answer. T2 is equal to 6. T2 is equal to 668.4 Kelvin. 668.4 Kelvin, or in terms of Celsius, T2 is equal to 395.4 degree Celsius. The option C is the right answer. And the next problem is, a sample of gas expands. A sample of gas expands from volume V1 to V2. A sample of gas expands from volume V1 to V2. The amount of work done by the gas is greatest when the expansion is. We know the PV diagram. This is PV diagram. It means here the graph between pressure and volume. A sample of gas expands from volume V1 to V2. Suppose if I consider the graph like this. This is the from A to B. In this process it is isobaric. From A to C. C is isothermal. From A to D it is adiabatic. We know this graph. Here the volume is change. But a sample of gas expands from volume V1 to V2. Amount of work done by the gas is greatest when the expansion is isobaric. And the expansion is isobaric. From this graph we get the answer. Option B is right. And the next problem is 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to, here 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 kilo mean 10 to the power of 3 per hour, 60 minutes into 60 watt seconds or 60 seconds. We get 6 into 6, 36 into 10 to the power of 5 joule. 36 into 10 to the power of 5 joule. Option A is the right answer. The next problem is the efficiency of a Carnot engine. The efficiency of a Carnot engine operating with reservoir temperature of 100 degrees Celsius and minus 23 degree Celsius. The temperature of the source means the body maintained at higher temperature. Sink means body maintained at lower temperature. The temperature of the source, that is T1 is equal to 100 converted into Kelvin. 100 plus 273, we get the answer 373. And temperature at the sink T2 is equal to minus 23 plus 273, that is equal to 250 Kelvin. 250 Kelvin. The efficiency of the Carnot engine, we know the formula. Eta is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by T1. Here T1 is 373 Kelvin minus T2 is 250 Kelvin divided by T1 is, that is 373 Kelvin. Therefore, the efficiency of the Carnot engine is 373 minus 250 divided by 373. Option D is the right answer, which is the efficiency of a Carnot engine operating with a reservoir temperature of 100 degrees Celsius and minus 23 degrees Celsius will be eta is equal to 373 minus 250 divided by 373. Next question is, we consider a thermodynamic system if delta U means the change in the internal energy. We consider one thermodynamic system. Thermodynamic system means it is the collection of large number of atoms or molecules within the certain boundary. Suppose if I consider this is the thermodynamic system, if delta U represents the increase in internal energy of this system and energy, and W is the work done, that is delta W is the work done by the system, which of the following statement is true? Which of the following statement is true? From the first law of thermodynamics, we know the formula dq is equal to du plus dw. Here we consider in a thermodynamic system, if du represents the increase in internal energy, or we can write this equation Q is equal to delta U represents the increase in internal energy and W represents the work done by the system, which of the following statement is true? Here the thermodynamic system, there is no supply of heat, then Q value is 0. 0 is equal to delta U plus W, or here delta U is equal to minus W. Delta U is equal to minus W. Delta U is equal to minus W for an adiabatic process. For an adiabatic process, because in this case we consider thermodynamic system, delta U represents increase in internal energy and work done by the system. Work done by the system means that is adiabatic. Now the option C is the right answer. The next question is, in an isothermal change of an ideal gas, delta U is equal to 0. Delta U is equal to 0. The change in heat energy, delta Q is equal to, the change in heat energy delta Q is equal to, here from first law of thermodynamics, delta Q is equal to delta U plus W. In an isothermal change of an ideal gas, here in this problem delta U is equal to 0, therefore delta Q is equal to W. Option B is the right answer. And the next problem is, an ideal gas is condensed adiabatically. When an ideal gas is condensed adiabatically to 8 divided by 27 times present volume at 27 degrees Celsius, the increase in temperature of the gas is gamma is equal to 5 divided by 3. In an adiabatic condition, we apply the same formula, T1 V1 gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 gamma minus 1, and the increase in temperature of the gas, that is T2 divided by T1 is equal to, now I can rearrange this equation, V1 divided by V2 whole to the power of gamma minus 1. Substitute the values. T2 divided by T1 is 27 degrees Celsius, convert it into Kelvin, we get the answer 300 is equal to V1 divided by V2 is equal to 8 by 27 times of its original volume. Ideal gas is condensed adiabatically to 8 divided by 27 times of its present volume. Then for gamma is equal to, here in this they are given already gamma value, that is 5 by 3 minus 1. This is the gamma value. Gamma is equal to 5 divided by 3. Gamma is equal to 5 divided by 3. Therefore, the T2 is equal to, T2 is equal to 300, or T2 divided by 300 is equal to V2 divided by 8 divided by 27. V1 cancel, we get 27 divided by 8. 27 divided by 8 whole to the power of 2 divided by 3. Therefore, T2 is equal to 300 into 27 divided by 8 whole to the power of 2 by 3, that is 9 by 4. 9 divided by 4. Therefore, the T2 is equal to 675 Kelvin, 675 Kelvin or 402 degrees Celsius. Here minus 273, we get the 402 degrees Celsius. Option B is the right answer. And the next question is, initial pressure and volume of a gas are. In this problem, initial pressure and volume of a gas are P and V respectively. Initial pressure and volume of the gas are P and V respectively. First, its volume is expanded to 4V. The volume is changes from V to 4V by isothermal process, and then its volume makes by V by adiabatic process. Then its final pressure is gamma is equal to 1 divided by 5. And the gas is expanded isothermally. When the gas is expanded isothermally, we know the formula P1 V1 is equal to P2 P2. Here in this case, the pressure and volume P is equal to, this is initial volume, P1 it is as it is, V1 it is as it is. Pressure is kept constant, this is P2, but the volume is changes from 4V. Volume is changes, first its volume is expanded to 4V. Therefore, P2 is equal to P divided by 4. Here V and V get cancelled. P2 is equal to P divided by 4. Again, when its volume is made by V adiabatically. When its volume is made by V adiabatically. For adiabatic expression, we know the formula. Here, the P2 V2 gamma is equal to P3 V3 gamma. Therefore, P2 V2 gamma, P2 V2 means P2, that is P by 4. V2 here, that is 4V whole to the power of gamma is equal to P3 V to the power of gamma. Here when you are solving, here the P3 is equal to P into 4 to the power of gamma minus 1, or P3 is equal to P into 4 to the power of gamma is value 1.5 minus 1. Therefore, P3 is equal to P into 4 to the power of 1 minus 5 minus 1, that is 0.5. We get P3 is equal to 4 to the power of 0.5, that is 2 into P. P3 is equal to 2 into P. The option D is the right answer. Here it is the final pressure. When its volume is changes from P to 4V, then its volume is again makes by V by adiabatic process, that is D is equal to 2 times of its pressure. And the next problem is, which of the following methods of flow of heat is based on gravitational attraction? Which of the following methods? Here, which of the following methods of flow of heat is based on gravitational attraction? Here, gravitational force is required for convection of fluid. Convection of fluid, in which it transferred from one point to another. Therefore, the option B is the right answer. The next problem, the ratio of specific heats at a constant pressure and a constant volume is gamma. The ratio of specific heats at constant pressure and constant volume is gamma. To find out the degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom means the total number of independent ways system can acquire the energy. To find out the degrees of freedom, here gamma is the gamma Gamma is the ratio of specific heat to constant pressure and constant volume. Therefore, gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 divided by F. This is being a degrees of freedom. This is being a degrees of freedom. But the F is equal to 2 divided by gamma minus 1. F is equal to 2 divided by gamma minus 1. Gamma is the, this is the gamma. This gamma is the ratio of specific heat at a constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume, Cp divided by Cv. Cp divided by Cv is equal to 1 plus 2 by F. From using this equation, F is equal to 2 divided by gamma minus 1. F is equal to 2 divided by gamma minus 1. Option A is the right answer. And the next question is the W by Q. W by Q means the ratio of work done to the amount of heat supplied to the system of a Carnot engine is, that is 1 by 6. It is equal to W divided by Q. Now, the temperature of sink is reduced by 62 degrees Celsius. Temperature of the sink is reduced by the 62 degrees Celsius. Then this ratio becomes twice. Therefore, the initial temperature of the sink and source are respectively. The efficiency of the Carnot engine, that is eta is equal to W divided by Q, or it is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. In the case 1, the Carnot engine is 1 by 6. Carnot engine is 1 by 6 means that the efficiency 1 by 6, it is equal to 1 minus the efficiency of the Carnot engine, work done divided by heat, is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. This is equation number 1. Then the temperature of the sink is reduced by 62 degrees Celsius. Then the ratio becomes twice. The ratio becomes twice means that is 2 by 6 is equal to 1, okay, 1 minus. In the second case, 2 by 6 is equal to 1 minus T2 minus 62 divided by T1. This is equation number 2. Now using equation 1, we get 2 by 6 is equal to 1 by 6 plus 62 divided by T1, and then 62 divided by T1 is equal to 1 by 6. Therefore, T1 is equal to 372 Kelvin. When you are putting this value T1 in this equation, finally we get the answer for T1 is equal to 99 degrees Celsius and T2 is equal to 37 degrees Celsius. Due to the shortage of the space, I can write the directly answer, but when you are substituting the T1 value in this equation, you get T2 is equal to 37 degrees Celsius. From using this value, you get T1 is equal to 99 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the option B is the right answer. The next problem is, a scientist says that the efficiency of his heat engine, which works at a source temperature 127 degrees Celsius is, this is the temperature, is 26%. This is the efficiency, 26%. But a scientist says that the efficiency of heat engine is, or his heat engine which works at a temperature 127 degrees Celsius is 26%. Therefore, the T1 is equal to 127 plus converted into Kelvin 273, that is 400 Kelvin. But the T2 is equal to normal temperature 27 plus 273, it is equal to 300 Kelvin. The efficiency of the heat engine, we know the formula, eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 into 100. Substitute the values here, 1 minus 300 divided by 400 into 100. 1 minus 300 divided by 400 into 100. 400 minus 300, that is 100. 1 by 4 into 100. 1 by 4 into 100, that is 25%. Eta is equal to 25%. Here the mathematical value Here in this problem, mathematical value is greater than real value. Mathematical value is greater than real value. The mathematical value is 26%. We get the real value is 25%. That's why it is not possible. Option A is the right answer. And the next question is the efficiency of Carnot engine. The efficiency of Carnot engine is 50%. This is the efficiency eta. And the temperature of the sink. Temperature of the sink means that is T2. If the temperature of the source is kept constant and its efficiency is raised to 60%, it is also eta, then required temperature of the sink will be. Required temperature of the sink will be. In this problem there are two cases. In the first case we know the formula, eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. Eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1 into 100. In the first problem the efficiency is 50. 50 is equal to 1 minus T2, that is 500 divided by T1 into 100. Here in this problem we get here the 500 divided by 100 is equal to 1 minus 500 divided by T1, or it is 50 divided by T1 is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2, or it is equal to 1 by 2. Therefore T1 is equal to 1000 Kelvin. T1 is equal to 1000 Kelvin. But in the second case, eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. 1 minus T2 by T1 into 100. In the second case, eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1 into 100. Here the temperature of the source is kept constant and its efficiency is raised to 60%, that is 60. Now 1 minus T2 divided by T1 into 100. Therefore we get 60 divided by 100. 60 by 100, 1 minus T2 divided by T1 is, that is 1000 Kelvin. T1 is 1000 Kelvin. Then T2 divided by T1, that is 1000, is equal to 1 minus 60%, that is 0.6. We get the 0.4. Therefore T2 is equal to 0.4 into 1000. 0.4 into 1000, that is 400 Kelvin. 400 Kelvin. Option C is the right answer. Next question. We consider the radiation emitted by the human body. When we consider the radiations are emitted by the human body, which of the following statement is true? The radiation emitted is in the ultraviolet region and hence it is not visible. Option B is the radiation emitted is in the infrared region. Option C is the radiation is emitted only during the day. The radiation is emitted during the summers and absorbed during the winters. Here in this problem we consider the radiation emitted by the human body. Which of the following statement is true? Human body absorbs the heat in summer. Human body absorbs the heat in summer and emits in winter. They are infrared radiation. All of you are familiar with this problem. You know, in a summer days human body absorbs the heat, but during the winter days it emits. Therefore they are infrared radiation. The option B is the right answer. Next problem. An ideal gas. An ideal gas means the gas which obeys Charles law and Bayes law, or the gas which obeys Gauss law. An ideal gas heat engine operates is a Carnot cycle between 227 degrees Celsius and 127 degrees Celsius. It absorbs 6 kilocalorie. 6 kilo means 10 to the power of 3. At the higher temperature, the amount of heat in kilocalorie converted into work is equal to. An ideal gas heat engine operates in the Carnot cycle between 227 degrees Celsius, that is T1 is equal to 227, converted it into Kelvin, plus 273, it is equal to 500 Kelvin, and 127 degrees Celsius, that is temperature to 127 plus 273, that is equal to 400 Kelvin. The amount of heat converted into work is equal to, we know the formula efficiency eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Now substitute the values. T2 is 400 divided by T1 is 500. It is in the form of 5 minus 4, that is 1. 1 divided by 5, it is equal to W divided by Q, because eta is equal to formula W divided by Q. Here 1 by 5 is equal to W divided by Q value is 6 kilocalorie. Therefore W is equal to 6 divided by 5 is equal to 1.2 kilocalorie. 6 divided by 5 is equal to 1.2 kilocalorie. Option A is the right answer. Option A is the right answer. And the next problem is the equation of state for 5 gram of oxygen. The equation of state for 5 gram of oxygen at a pressure P and a temperature T when occupying a volume V will be. Here we know the formula. N is equal to the number of molecules. N is equal to 5 gram of oxygen divided by the molecular mass of the oxygen is, that is 32. O2, 5 divided by 32. This is for oxygen O2. We know the formula. PV is equal to nRT. Then we write the equation. PV is equal to N is equal to pi divided by 32 R into T. PV is equal to 5 by 32. N is the gas constant. For oxygen it is 5 divided by 32. It is M by M. For small n is equal to small m divided by capital M. 5 divided by 32 into RT. 5 divided by 32 into RT. Option C is the right answer. And the next problem is an ideal gas. An ideal gas heat engine operates in Carnot cycle between 227 degrees Celsius and 127 degrees Celsius. It absorbs 6 into 10 to the power of 4 calories of heat at higher temperature. Amount of heat converted to work is. Consider an ideal gas heat engine operates in a Carnot cycle between 227 degrees Celsius and 127 degree Celsius. When it is convert 227 plus 273, it is the 500 Kelvin. 127 plus 273, it is 400 Kelvin. Heat given or supplied to the engine at the maximum temperature, that is 6 into 10 to the power of 4. Now the efficiency eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 into 100. Now substitute the values here. 1 minus T2, that is 400 divided by 500 into 100. We get the answer 20%. 500 minus 4, it is in the 1 by 5 into 100. 1 by 5 into 100, we get 20%. Therefore here an ideal gas heat engine operates in a Carnot cycle between 227 degrees Celsius and 120. It absorbs certain amount of heat, and the amount of heat converted into work, that is E is equal to heat converted into work divided by heat supplied to the engine. HW is equal to heat converted into work divided by heat supplied to the engine into 100. It is equal to here it is 20%. The efficiency is 20%. Heat converted into work, that is H. heat converted into work, H divided by heat supplied to the system, that is 6 into 10 to the power of 4 into 100. Therefore, the amount of heat converted into work, H is equal to 20 into 6 into 10 to the power of 4 divided by 100 into converted into calorie, that is 1.2, or when you are calculating this value you get 1.2. 20 into 6, 120. This is 120 divided by 100. 120 divided by 100, and this is 12 divided by 10, 1.2. 1.2 into 10 to the power of 4 calories. It is the option A is the right answer. The next problem is, which of the following processes is reversible? Which of the following process is reversible? Transfer of heat by the radiation. Option A is the transfer of the heat by radiation. Here the 4 options are given. Out of these 4 options, which of the following process is reversible? Option A is the transfer of heat by the radiation. Option B is the transfer of heat by the conduction. Option C is the electrical heating of nichrome wire. Option D is the isothermal compression. In the process of compression, temperature of gas rises. Hence, for being isothermal, at a constant temperature gas expands and the process is reversible during the isothermal compression. Option D is the right answer. The next problem is, the molar specific heat at a constant pressure of an ideal gas. The molar specific heat at a constant pressure. The molar specific heat at constant pressure means this is the Cp, the molar specific heat at a constant pressure of an ideal gas, that is Cp is equal to 7/2, or the ratio of the specific heat at constant pressure to that at constant volume is. We know the formula from using Bohr-Mayer equation. Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Here Cp is equal to molar specific heat at constant pressure, that is 7/2 R, minus Cv is equal to R. Then Cv is equal to 7/2 R minus R. It is equal to 5/2 R. The ratio of specific heat capacities at constant pressure to the constant volume, Cp divided by Cv. Cp is, that is 7/2 R divided by Cv is pi divided by 2R. 2R get cancelled. We get the answer 7 divided by 5. Option C is the right answer. The ratio of specific heat at constant pressure to that at constant volume is 7 divided by 5. Option C is the right answer. The next problem is, a Carnot engine whose sink is at 300 Kelvin has an efficiency of 40%. A Carnot engine whose sink is at 300 Kelvin has an efficiency of 40%. By how much should the temperature of source be increased so as to increase by efficiency 50% of its original efficiency? Here we know the formula, efficiency of the Carnot engine, eta is equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. Here T1 is the source temperature, T2 is the sink temperature. Initially the 40%, that is 0.4. 0.4 is equal to 1 minus sink temperature 300 divided by T1. Therefore 300 divided by T1 is equal to 1 minus 0.4 is equal to, that is 0.6, or T1 is equal to 300 divided by 0.6 is equal to 500 Kelvin. But when the efficiency is increased by 50%, when we increase the efficiency is 50%, we get, that is 0.4 plus 0.2, 50%. 0.4 plus 0.2, that is 0.6%. Now for 0.6%, eta is equal to 0.6 equal to 1 minus T2 divided by T1. 1 minus T2 by T1, it is equal to 1 minus 300 divided by T1. Here also 300 divided by T1 is equal to 1 minus 0.6 is equal to 0.4. Therefore, T1 is equal to 300 divided by 0.4. It is equal to 750 Kelvin, or the change in the temperature delta T is equal to, or delta T1 is equal to 750 minus 500. 750 minus 500, we get the answer 250 Kelvin. When a Carnot engine whose sink is at 300 Kelvin has an efficiency of 40%, by how much should be the temperature of the source is increased by that of its efficiency is 50%. It increased from 500 to 750, but the change in the temperature of that system is 250 Kelvin. That's why the option A is the right answer. Next problem is two systems are in thermal equilibrium. When the two systems are in thermal equilibrium, the quantity which is common for them is, when the two systems are in thermal equilibrium. Suppose if you are consider according to the zeroth law of thermodynamics, here these are the two systems. This is system A and system B. Two systems are in thermal equilibrium means it is also having the temperature T1, it is also having the temperature T1. These two systems are having the same temperature. Suppose I say this is also 30 degrees Celsius and this is also 30 degrees Celsius. The quantity which is common for them, two systems are in thermal equilibrium, the quantity which is common for them is, that is the temperature. Option C is the right answer. The next problem is, in a thermodynamic process, the pressure of a certain mass of a gas is changed in such a way that 20 joule heat is released from it and 8 joule work is done on the gas. If the initial internal energy of the system is 30 joule, then the final internal energy will be, according to the first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus dw. But the final internal energy minus initial internal energy, here in this problem we have the two internal energy, one is final internal energy and another one is initial internal energy, plus the work done. If the initial internal energy of the system is 30 joule, then the final internal energy will be, that is U final is equal to, reconstruct this formula, that is U final is equal to dq minus dw plus U initial. Now substitute the values. Here in a thermodynamic process, the pressure of a certain mass of a gas is changed in such a way that 20 joule heat is released from it. That is minus 20 plus 8 plus 30, we get the answer 18 joule. Option C is the right answer. The next problem is, the curve plotted on an indicator. Diagram. This is indicator diagram between 2 points. The curve plotted on an indicator diagram between 2 points. This is the PV diagram. Here the state of the system, what it indicates: option A, the state of the system; option B, work done is a cyclic process; option C, work done on the system; option D is thermodynamic process. The curve drawn between 2 points in an indicator diagram represents the thermodynamic process, because here from point A to B, this is isothermal process, B to C adiabatic process, C to D. Here this is the isothermal compression, isothermal expansion, adiabatic expansion, isothermal compression and adiabatic compression. It is a thermodynamic process. Option D is the right answer. The next problem is 2 gram moles of a gas. 2 gram moles of a gas which are kept at a constant temperature of 0 degree Celsius. 2 gram moles of a gas, here this is the mass, 2 gram moles of a gas which are kept at constant temperature 0 degree Celsius are compressed from 4 liter to 1 liter. V1, this is V2. Work done will be from using work done by an isothermal process. From using the cylinder, we know the formula W is equal to 2.303 nRT log base 10 V2 divided by V1. This is work done in an isothermal process. Now substitute the values here. W is equal to 2.303 into N, that is 2 gram, into R value is 8.4, T value is 273 Kelvin, because it is 0 degree Celsius. 0 plus 273 log base 10 V2 is, that is 4 divided by 1. Here we get 2.303 into 2 into 8.4 into 273. It is log base 10 1 minus, it is m by n formula, log n minus log m, log base 10 4, log base 10 1 minus log base 10 4. When you are going to calculate, finally you get the answer minus 6359 joule. 6359 joule. Try to solve yourself or try to calculate yourself. From using this value we get A is equal to minus 6359 joule. Then the next problem is, an engine has efficiency of 1 by 6. Engine has efficiency of 1 by 6, that is N equal to W divided by Q is equal to, it is 1 by 6. When the temperature of sink is reduced by 62 degrees Celsius, its efficiency is double, then the temperature of the source is, here the efficiency of the engine eta is equal to temperature of the source minus temperature of the sink divided by temperature of the source. Here the temperature Ts is equal to, this is temperature of the source. The efficiency is 1 by 6. 1 by 6 is equal to Ts minus the temperature of the sink. Ts means temperature of the source minus temperature of the sink divided by temperature of the sink. Now it is efficiency is double. Efficiency is double means 2 into 1 divided by 6. It is equal to temperature of the source minus of temperature of the sink minus 6 square. It is 6 square divided by temperature of the sink. On solving, when you are solving this problem, we get the temperature of the source is equal to 99 degree Celsius. Thank you. And in the next class we will solve some more problems on this topic.